Day 1187, 22 for 22. Good morning. Hope this finds you well. Please stay in your fight and do not quit. So I got my walk in. It was a pretty good walk. Not as good as yesterday's, but I got it done. And I'm here talking to y'all. So it's a great start to my Tuesday, and I'm glad to see y'all here. So I got my 4 Lieutenants Point North hat on today. I always crack myself up when I look at this hat after serving with them. But anyway, on my walk today, I listened to a little bit of Jerry Cantrell, and then I moved on to something more positive. Brought out some good points, and he said something that I say and have said and recently talked about because I heard it from Garrett Griffin. So it is about you are what you eat, and we eat all this negative stuff, and we get to the point where we're like, this is never going to get any better. Or even worse, we get through what we're going through, and then because of the trauma that we got into in the last situation, we think, this good stuff is not going to last. That enemy that is in our head when we're feeling the way we do is a brutal enemy, and it hits you right where you need to be hit to take you down. And we have to learn how to steel ourselves against that and know that we are doing better than we think we are, largely. Now, is there problems? Absolutely. You wouldn't be in the boat you're in if everything was fine. And some things can be devastating. But we have to realize that our whole life is not predicated on being in that moment forever or going through what we're going through forever. This may sound really bad, but it's got to be said, and I've lived it. I still have trauma from what I've gone through, and it was enough to make me suicidal. So it definitely wasn't good, and I'm a pretty strong-minded individual most of the time. There are chinks in my armor, though, that we all have. It is a matter of what that chink is and how it affects you. Now, we spend a lot of time when we're in that trauma and feeling that way, back in that time where things happened, and we're not there anymore as far as physicality. And we have to know that. We have to use those tools that are given to us in therapy, the grounding therapy, or whatever you use to get you out of that thought process of where you're at. And realize that, things suck right now, but things are going to get better. They may not. What's going on now, like a divorce, you're likely never getting back to a good point with that relationship. You hope you can get a good relationship with your child, keep that relationship that you had, and continue to move forward. But the relationship that has put people on the edge of the cliff is gone, and we have to take that into account and realize that that's not coming back. That is not something that we control. That is not something that we can, and even throw in deaths of our soldiers. We can't control that. Whatever control that we think we have is fleeting and not always something that you can't see the future. So you can't make all the right decisions all the time. So what we have to do is look at where we are at now objectively, and look at where we need to go objectively as well as positively. We can't stay negative all the time, because that's no way to live, and that does bear on the getting on the edge of the cliff and jumping in. So we have to combat that with positivity and what we eat, and keep pushing towards a better life, knowing and having to know that where we were is not where we can go. We have to be able to look in that rear view mirror, look at it, remember it, decide not to make the same mistakes again, or have the same, look for, how do I want to put that? You may not even have made a mistake, but try to avoid getting in that situation where that can happen again. This is such a tough subject. I am no expert, but I know what I've done in my own life, which is try to learn and try to be a better me, to be a better me for everybody around me, to include me. And I try to eat as well as I can positively. And I think that is a good start, a good way to get to where you want to go. Are there pitfalls? Yeah. Will the tide turn against you at times? Yeah. I've just come through my own where the tide turned on me. I got caught in riptide and got pulled out. I've finally been able to parallel to the shore and swim back in. This life is going to throw a lot of pitches at you. Some are going to be a curveball right in the zone. Some are going to be a curveball out of the zone, and we're going to swing and we're going to mess up. We're going to strike out. We're going to have to get back in that batter's box and go again. And it's just got to keep going, because this life is worth living. Going against that tide, getting through it, and having the tide go back out, and life getting better is where it's at. And I know I'm throwing a lot of cliches out there this morning, but I'm trying to convey a point. It's always darkest before the dawn, and it can stay darkest before the dawn for a long time, especially if you're in the time in Alaska with no sun. It's hard to, little sun. It's hard to do, but it's worth doing. Once you start getting those small victories and building up that confidence, things are going to get better for you, and it's going to work out. Can it take a long time? Yeah. And the longer you've been on the cliff, the longer it takes to get back, but it's worth the trip. Make the trip. So I'm going to leave it there. Remember, 988 is an option for help if you need it. You have your brothers, sisters, family, professionals, whoever you need to get the help that you need to make sure that you stay here. Know that you are worthy and that you do matter, and that you have, in fact, survived 100% of your worst days. So please keep you in that streak alive. You've got this. You can do this. And you are much stronger than you believe, and doing better than you think you are. So I've said it before, you don't necessarily have to thrive, you just have to survive, whether it's that 1 second, that 1 minute, that 1 hour, that 1 day, that 1 week, that 1 month, that 1 year. That's success right there. Every breath that you take is a success. Keep it going. We'll see you here tomorrow for day 1188, and I look forward to seeing you there. And I will see you there. Tough out.